So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So in this video I wanted to talk about the 5 worst super tandem legends in OPTC right now. Some of these are going to be obvious, maybe some will be a surprise, but I will also basically say which is the worst, and I think many of you will be surprised by exactly who that is. But yeah, let's jump right in. We have 5 units to cover, so might as well get started. Oops, let's go to crew. I made a crew here with 5 super tandem legends, and I consider these 5 to be the worst in the game right now. Let's end with the 2 worst ones. So I'll start with some who are decent but have some flaws. We can start with Blackbeard first. I actually think Blackbeard is really cool with this super tandem. Let's take a look at how it works at level 5. The requirement is that you need 2 specific units to activate, and it's other Blackbeard pirate members. But once you activate, you get an attack boost tandem of 1.5 times to power out on driven, and you also boost the chain multiplier by 1.5 times for 1 turn. So you basically get some extra stackable chain multiplier buff, and you also get a small attack boost, so pretty similar to Anniversary Ace. Ace has a bit of a better extra chain boost he gives though. He buffs your entire chain, including hits you've already done. Blackbeard only buffs future hits by 1.5 times extra chain, so a bit of a difference. But the main reason Blackbeard is on this list is because of the requirement. You need 2 other Blackbeard pirates, and it's just not very feasible to build a good team with Blackbeard and 2 of his crewmates, at least right now. It can be done, but it's not very optimal most of the time, which ends up meaning that this basically sees no use at all. Moving on, I picked Sasaki. This could have been any of the Tobi Roppo. They are basically the same. I just put Sasaki here since I think he's the least useful in general. But to recap, and remember that the others are basically the same here. So for this super tandem, you need 2 of the following units. You need Kaido, King, Queen, Yak, Black Maria, Who's Who, Page 1, or Ulti. Say any of the Beast Pirate Commanders or the Tobi Roppo basically, except for X-Drake. The effect is that you apply an attack boost tandem of 2.25 times to strength and quick for 1 turn, and you reduce damage threshold by 2 turns. So there are 2 issues here. The first issue is, yet again, we need 2 specific units. A bit more feasible to build a good team with these required units though. There's a lot of good Kaido, King, Queen and Tobi Roppo units. But the biggest issue is the fact that the tandem attack boost is only for other colors. Like usually in this game, if we're facing a content where the boss is like quick, we might build a Dex heavy team. Sasaki might be on that team. But if we activate Sasaki's super tandem on such a team, Dex units don't get a boost, it's only the other colors. And it's the same for Black Maria. Black Maria is quick, so she buffs Dex and Strength. And Who's Who is Strength, buffs Dex and Quick. So I don't know why they did like that. Should have just done Strength, Dex, Quick. The idea is that they want you to use these 3 together basically, which is a fun concept but not very realistic in reality. But yeah, moving on, we have a pretty recent unit in Sabo. Let's jump right into his super tandem. Going to look at level 5, even if I don't have it yet. So requirement, yet again, we need 2 specific units to activate, but there are some pretty good units here, of course. You need 2 of Luffy, Ace, Garp, Koala, Hack, Rebecca, Ivanko, Inazuma, Lindbergh, Belovetti, Karasu, Molly, Bartolomeo, Kuma, Nico Robin. I actually didn't know Barto was part of this. That's actually very cool. I remember the Kuma at least, and Robin. We have all of the revolutionaries, even Ivanko, that's very cool. He often gets left out, I feel like. And of course, Ace, Luffy, and Garp. So you have so many potential units. That's not the issue. The issue here is more of the effect. So the effect is basically that you apply Ignited to all enemies for 1 turn. That's the official name for burn. You get a 2x burn conditional for 1 turn, and also a tandem attack boost for 1 turn. I will say that Sabo is probably the best one on this list, but I'm still very salty by the fact that Sabo's burn does not bypass full immunity. For me, that's a no-brainer. Like for his debut super boss, where he was supposed to be used, even that had full immunity and was a lot of pain, because you couldn't just run a very good Sabo friend for the burn conditional. Like, it's just crazy. So yeah, I feel like that's a huge miss. Like, if it did that, this will be maybe one of the best super tandem in the game. Would be on a similar level to like Nami. Not as good as Nami, of course, but will be a decent option. But now it's very niche. And of course, it will take a lot of time for people to max this anyway. Now for the bottom 2, and we'll finish with Yamato. I'm sure that many feel something about seeing Yamato on this list, but you'll get a very good reasoning for that. If you look at it in a vacuum though, without any context, the easily worst in the game is Prime Whitebeard though. There's so many reasons this is bad. But let's look at it first. Level 5, the requirement for using this is that you need 2 specific units again. And yeah, it's what you expect. Is basically different units that are connected to Whitebeard. So crewmates, affiliated members. We have stuff like Odin, Isu, Cat, and Dog. So there's actually a lot of potential units, but fitting 2 of them plus Whitebeard, we're back to the Blackbeard problem. Not as bad as Blackbeard, but still pretty bad. One thing we haven't talked about with other units, but we can mention here, is being able to get the actual tandem orbs. Most units here don't really have a problem with that. I don't think Sabo can do it either, but at least there's a lot of options for crewmates to do that. For Whitebeard, there's basically no options anywhere here for you to get tandem orbs, so that's pretty catastrophic. Basically no units released with his badge provided tandem orbs. I think the only exception is like the free-to-play Odin. If you have block orbs, that's basically it. So you have a problem getting tandem orbs, but then we also talk about the reward. What does the super tandem do? And it gives you an attack boost, tandem of 1.75 times to striker and powerhouse for 1 turn. And you also apply an increased damage taken to enemies by 1.5 times for 1 turn. So you get a very low increased damage taken, and it doesn't even go past full immunity. Every other, like, not every other, but for example, Super Sugofest Law, the Dex one that does increased damage taken 1.5 times, goes through full immunity. Nice bonus. And this will have been more salvageable if it did. But now it doesn't even do that, and it gives a weak attack boost only to 2 classes. And you need Whitebeard plus 2 specific units, and basically none of them give tandem orbs. Like, there's basically nothing good about this. The only reason why this is not the worst, potentially, is that it doesn't really sabotage better teams. We'll get to that with versus Yamato. Because in a vacuum, this is not a bad super tandem. There's one reason why it's bad, but it's really bad. But first, let's talk about Yamato. At level 5, if the game lets me press, there we go. First, it's only final battle. I don't really like when they do that, but that's how it is. You need 2 specific units, but there's very good units, usually not a problem here. any of the Straw Hats or Ace or Momo. The effect is not bad at all. You get the tandem attack boost 2.25 times to Striker and Free Spirit for 1 turn. And you also apply increased damage taken 1.3 times, that ignores full immunity. It's a bit weaker increased damage taken, but you get it guaranteed. I still feel like it should have been 1.5 times though. So you might ask here, what's the problem? Sure, it's not the strongest, you might not use it a lot, but you can't say it's bad. Well, I will explain why it's bad. I should have probably prepared this beforehand, but we can put her up now. We have the Super Sugo Fest Nami, who you know is one of the queens of Super Boss now. I hope I said Super Sugo Nami. Anyway, Nami is like the biggest damage increaser in Super Boss. Basically, a lot of teams in Super Boss right now is built around trying to fit Nami, Robin, and versus Yamato. Because Robin lets you get 2 conditionals to stack. Nami can provide the other conditional. She also buffs Robin's conditional and gives a big tandem attack boost. Like, their synergy is incredible. And then you add versus Yamato to this with the damage reduction attack boost, which is also stackable and unique. And you also get tandem orbs and Wano orbs and tons of damage with the attack boost and everything. Like, very great synergy. What really can ruin this though is the fact that if Yamato is at a high super tandem, like mine is low so it doesn't matter. The problem is when you get to level 3 and above. Or it's level 4 and above actually. When you get to that point, Yamato can start interrupting Nami's super tandem, which is arguably the best in the game. So basically suddenly you have to think about what order you hit in. So like if you face like Int boss or maybe a strength boss where Yamato does no damage, you still have to start changing your tap order to not trigger Yamato's super tandem. So basically, if you say you have Robin, Nami, Yamato, this can let you trigger either Nami or Yamato. So basically, you always have to hit with Nami before Yamato. And in many cases, that's bad because Nami might do more damage. Like if you face Int bosses, of course, or as I said, if you face like a strength boss where Yamato will do little damage. And also, just in general, you might start messing up. So basically, how do you salvage this? Well, I 100% recommend that once you get to level 3 and you pull a new Yamato, save that as a dupe, keep it at level 1, and then continue maxing the other one. Because in many situations you're actually debuffed if you have Yamato at a higher level. For example, last Kizuna, there was a JP team who used the combo I said, Robin, Nami, Yamato, and was able to do like a lot of damage. I don't remember exactly how much it was. If it was like 10 billion or something. Very high at least to a normal boss, that's Kizuna. But I was able to do even more damage, and it's because he had to use a very suboptimal tap order just to not trigger Yamato's super tandem, which I didn't need to do. And the point of this video from the beginning was to tell you guys to try and keep one Yamato lower level for the future. But then I figured I'd talk about some bad super tandems in general. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. See? Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.